Hello and welcome to WBC's live election broadcast. I am one of your hosts, NicheGuy. Towards my left, we have Westray, and towards my right, we have CodeWiz. Here we are going to be covering the results live as they come out. As far as we are aware, the first count just occurred, and they are doing a recount. Thoughts?
Certainly it's going to be a very close election from all the messages within Discord and within the chat. So
I would agree.
we will definitely have many recounts today.
Yes. West, you?
Yeah, I mean, I think I agree there. I think it's going to come down to turnout is one thing. I'd be interested to look at that to see if it's changed from the last election or not. Seen a lot of people, new names joining recently, so we'll have to see. Otherwise, yeah, I think it's going to be a close election.
I think the main thing about this election is obviously the great coalition party merge of the new initiative, which could shake up the field quite a bit, or it could prove that the HPP is just the preferred party among a majority of Harlonians. But yes. So, let me see if I can put the stream on the Discord. Give me a sec. I think the results are going to be interesting. Do you want to talk about the last term and how it's won? I'm
Sure,
going to
I
say
can
as a
start if
yes.
you'd like. Yeah. Wait, sort of the results of last election is what you're talking about?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I meant
Yeah,
more
so
so the term, but that is where we start. So
Yeah.
yeah, so 2024, October 2024, you're heading into the election with Chillman as the HPP leader in the Harlan Progress Party, and then we had Pro of Survival as the LPH, Liberal Party of Harlan, and then we had Harry as the United Values leader, and then JJ as the Social Democratic Party SDP leader. In that election, it was quite a split election. HPP had about 37% of the vote. They got 5 seats. And then the four other parties got about 20% of the vote. So it was quite a consequential election there. And we ended up seeing a term that was, a minority government. It was the HPP with the LPH in a coalition together.
yeah. It's not the first time that the HPP has entered a coalition with the LPH, like in February 2023. However, I believe it was the first time that the after the first election result, the HPP did enter a coalition with the LPH. However, I do believe that later they would actually. No, I'm pretty sure. Aside from that, they got majorities. Right?
Yeah.
See,
I believe
and
so,
one
yeah.
one of I would say the main interesting things is without the LPH this time to whatchamacallit, take some of the people who are opposed to voting HPP's ballots. A spoiler, kind of, I think is the correct term. I don't think so. I don't know the term. But generally, without the LPH to absorb some of the non-HPP votes, we wonder where those are going to go. If they go back to the HPP or if they're going to go to the NI, which will decide this election.
Look, I think with NI, they've portrayed themselves as a new party, and I think maybe that might resonate with some voters, but a lot of voters, they're seeing the same leadership again and again. Chocolate Rep, he's the leader of NI, he was the leader of the Civic Party, he was the leader of the NDP, and then he was the leader of DAB before it was called the NDP. It's can be difficult for some voters to differentiate between the NI and these former parties.
I would agree.
Yeah.
But yeah, continuing on with what happened last term. Prime Minister Chillman. What do we think he got done?
He definitely passed many changes to the government, mainly um what was it? The
Government Restructuring Act
the
of, I
restructure there was
think, December 2024.
restructuring.
Yes.
Yeah. But besides that, um mostly the parties also made a couple um acts that really brought Harlan forward.
I will be so honest. I thought you were about to say axe attacks there. I'm too used to Canadian elections. Uh, yeah.
Besides that,
Oh, go ahead.
besides that, really, we have also seen a larger turnout of voters this election than last.
Yes. And I do think the turnout this election, I don't know if it's going to be the highest in Harlonian history, but I think it is going to be pretty high.
Yes, we have a lot of more newer players who voted in this election compared to previous when we have had less newer players.
But yes. I do think that sorry, I lost my train of thought there. That
I was gonna actually suggest that turnout, I think while it could be great in this election, my question will see what the impact it is on the lack of a third party. Are people, you mentioned earlier, are people going to vote NI or HPP? But I think there's another option that people are forgetting, just not voting at all. How many people, who might have voted LPH or might have voted these third parties are just not voting at all? There's
yeah.
a potential concern there.
I do
that
agree.
is a point.
Because
I've not really actually thought about that.
yeah. Because the people, the spoilers, the real question is who whatchamacallit? Like, where are they gonna go? Like, do they go to the NI? Do they go to the HBP? And it's like, are they just going to whatchamacallit? Are they just gonna not vote? Like, the question is, where do they go? Because they were crucial in deciding where the election went last time, and they're gonna be crucial again.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. Generally, what impact do we think Chillman's term had on this election?
I feel he definitely mainly in the restructuring act helped move Harlan into a more organized position. Besides that, he did change a couple smaller parts of our government, but mainly his term could be described as a restructuring term.
Yes. Generally, I would agree there. He put a lot of emphasis on restructuring the government in regards to I would say like he put a lot I'm losing my train of thought here. Apologies. But he put a lot of emphasis on um on expanding or actually well no he put some emphasis on cutting down some unnecessary parts in the government, and he expanded some areas like or well, he tried to in garbage proposals. Oh, it looks like results are done. So we are gonna switch to the other broadcast soon. But he focused more on, I would say, the less thought about issues. So we don't know if that's gonna benefit the HPP or not. But yes. All right. So if you two don't mind, we are gonna switch to the other camera angle now, so we can go and see the results. Which does mean we are gonna switch from here. But yes.
All right.
All right. We will see you again soon. Thank you for coming as part of the broadcast. Okay. See, it's not going well. There we go.
It says it's being
All right.
announced in 15 minutes.
Oh, 15 minutes. Well,
15 minutes. Oh, all right. Never mind. We're going back.
if that message had just came a couple seconds
A couple
earlier.
of seconds earlier. All right. So we're gonna go back to covering the previous term, and then I guess afterwards the campaign.
Okay.
All right.
Got it.
Yeah. Generally, I do think how the public perceives Chillman term, I think I think it'll have an impact, but I think, well, no, because they will have an impact because the HPP generally relies on their effectiveness and like being seen as a part of progress. It's in the name. So depending on if it's seen as that, the results are going to be different. I would say. You two agree? All right. So, all right. Let's discuss. The campaign season. So, I would say the campaign season started off with a real bang, also known as the, I believe it was 40,000 view and climbing video released by Trollygark, which was related to former Prime Minister Nexelin. I don't know if it's still at that view count. I know it's at least at that view. But that video, I don't think it captured most of the electorate. I do think that a lot of the journalistic class saw it though. But yes. Thoughts on that video and its impact on this election cycle.
Well, I actually haven't viewed this video, so I can't talk much on this.
Oh. All right. Wes, do you think it'll have any impact on the cycle?
Yeah, if you'd like me to speak on it, well, I don't particularly think that the video brought much traffic to Harlan, primarily because the video featured a wide range of other servers, and Harlan was not really a major server covered in the video. But I think it does talk more about, discussion about how we regulate our financial industry and, potential efforts that we might want to make to better formalize our financial industry within Harlan. Because, 2 years ago, we were told in Harlan that we get a banking plugin. That hasn't came, so I think the government has to figure out some sort of solution.
Yes, I do think more regulation on businesses is going to come in the case of a HPP win. I'm not sure about an I win because when that question was asked during the debate, they did not give a very straight answer. But generally, I do think it will have a long-term effect on the system in general. But yes. Okay, what is next? Oh yes. All right. So afterwards, the campaign became marred by, I would say, quite the active debate between, well, myself and Chocolate Rep over the 2025 debate, April 2025 debate, which was a bit unexpected, but uh, I do think it speaks to what this election could mean for the journalism of the country. And I do think that uh I don't really know what to add here, because if I add something that sounds like I could sound hyper partisan considering I'm directly involved. So do you want to add anything?
Well, I think
Um,
first of all, oh, sorry, Code, do you want to go first?
no, I just said I don't have anything to say on this,
All right.
so you can talk, Westray.
Well, I think first of all, if you commit to attending a debate, you should keep your commitment or come out with a more reasonable excuse as to why you can't meet that commitment. Because Chocolate Red did say that he would come to the WC debate, and then he pulled out after you had already organized it with the other party leader. So that was very unfortunate. Doesn't, seem like there's much respect for WBC on that front. Um, as for the other part of it too, is not only did he, drop out of the WC debate, but he then went on to debate on a news company that is owned by his party members. So he didn't want to debate in territory that he thought was hostile, so he decided to debate in territory that was more friendly to his cause. Well, so I'm glad, that, Yoshi and him were able to debate on HBTV, but I think it's unfortunate that he's unwilling to engage with other news companies.
Just to clarify, he did eventually agree to a WBC debate, and that did happen a couple of days ago.
Did a WC debate happen?
Yeah. It was around an
Yeah,
hour long. Yeah.
I believe it happened on Thursday. Yeah, last Thursday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I never watched the WC debate.
Damn. Okay. That's. But yeah.
Um, because from what I heard was that, he just kept canceling and rescheduling, and it was hard to get. Like, I thought at some point he was just not going to the debate.
Honestly,
But
at some points I also thought that, but I'm quite glad we eventually came to a.
if that's
Yeah.
true, like if that's true, then I recant what I said. I think it's glad that they both debated then.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh, Generally, I would say getting the voice of the parties heard, so Parliamentarians could listen and vote accordingly. Very good, and I do think I don't think it'll decide the election, but I do think it will have a impact on some votes. Uh, yes. And is that our broadcast link? Yes, it is. Sorry, I thought there was a new media thing. But yeah. Aside from that, afterwards the campaign became occupied by well, actually this was before and it was afterwards again as well. Talks about NI's inactive candidates. So this became quite a hot topic issue, where people for bringing on some candidates which, one, were not legally allowed to be candidates, two, did not care about the country, and three, just did not want to be running, which one candidate made very clear they did not want to run. So I do think this election has been like generally on the NI. Like the discussion has been focused on them, which could play either well into the HPP or against them, I'd say.
Another thing is, I believe the Royal Eagle News also put out a article on the Harlan server pointing out the activity of the NI, with most of their candidates ranking lower on the most to least active list.
Yes. This is true. I believe.
Yeah.
Most HPP candidates, aside from maybe Nilo, were above the
Yeah.
Nilo and Chill were above basically the entire NI list, which kind
Yeah.
of wild considering that the NI had more candidates.
So, yeah, based on this Eagle News assessment, it was just looking at all the MP candidates, and it did, it didn't, and it wasn't really necessarily saying, NI is inactive. It was more so giving the data on all the candidates, and it did find some interesting parts about the HAP as well, like, Chillman and Nihilus, which were lower on the ranking there. But it did point out, like you said, that a lot of the NI candidates as well are inactive. And two things about the NI candidates I'd note is with Black Demon and Alex Fearson, um, when we went to search for their Discord messages, there was 0 messages sent up until this election. No messages sent in the last year in Harlan whatsoever. So it's really concerning to voters that these people aren't even engaging with the community.
Yeah, and
Yeah, I agree.
should the NI win the election, um, uh, someone like Black Demon could be crucial to keeping their majority if they have a 2-seat majority rather than just a 1-seat majority, which is going to be really interesting to see. Same with if someone like someone like Sturgish, which they need to pray he does not go inactive, because if he does, then election costed. Or well, less so
By-election.
election costed, more so majority costed. But yeah, they just need to hope that like if they were to win, that the next 2 months goes their way. Same with the HPP somewhat, but they're I would say like they're more so inactive candidates are less at the forefront, meaning like they could afford to lose one if they were to go into government and then inactive like one of their candidates goes. Yeah, generally I think this election is going to be very interesting. But we have only 60 seconds left, so well, I think it's the second time, except this time we actually go.
All right.
All right.
Thanks for having us.
No
Thank you.
problem. And I will see you again after the results are announced, and we can discuss ramifications, I assume.
Yes.
All right.
All right. Thank you for watching again. Can't wait to see you, or something. I don't know. Results. All right. Oh. All right, so they appear to be running by the election results. So I'm gonna read off what Kang says. All right. 9 players submitted split ballots, with some submitted several. In total, 37 votes were spoiled. So that would mean that there were 9 spoiled ballots, or well, 9 players that submitted spoiled ballots, and then 37 separate ballots from those players, which is an incredibly large margin. But whoever did that, congrats, I guess. All right. The first seat goes to Yoshi Pai, representing the Harlem Progress Party. Not a very shocking result there. It would be incredibly shocking if, well, not actually. Well, 3 seats are secured for each candidate, so these results are not that shocking. Uh, all right. Seat for NicheGuy from the HPP. Now 2 HPP, 0 NI. For clarification purposes, I am NicheGuy. For clarification purposes, there will only be 9 seats in this election. The third seat goes to Chocolate Rep, representing New Initiative. Once again, not that big of a surprise. 3 seats for each candidate are secured. Or, well, each party. Sorry, not candidate. 4th seat goes to JJ11W3, representing the New Initiative. This now brings it to 2-2. Still, results are not shocking. The 5th seat goes to Westray, representing the Harlem Progress Party. Sixth seat goes to CodeWiz, representing the Harlem Progress Party. This is the first non-secured seat to be won by a party. If the APP wins one more seat, they do have a majority. Seventh seat goes to Januki, representing the New Initiative. All right. All seats from here are it depends on votes. We no longer have secured seats. Eighth seat goes to all right. It appears to have started raining. Sturgis, representing the New Initiative. That's wild timing. For reference, Sturgis just joined in game. There's one more seat inside of the election, and whoever wins that seat gets the majority. With 18 votes, 51.43%. The final elected MP is Liam Chan, the new initiative has a majority. Right. All right. This means that the new initiative officially has a majority, bringing nearly 3 years of HBP rule to an end. All right. We will now be returning to the studio shortly. All right, and welcome back to WBC's election desk. For the first time in how many years, the HBP is set to be out of government. Historic results, really? Are you two there? Wait. Someone.
Yes, I am. I'm just grabbing something from another room quickly.
All right. I don't know if it's good or not that as soon as the results started being announced for a NI majority, it started raining. I don't know if that's a good or a bad omen for them. But it's certainly something that did happen. So they deal with that as they will, and so will the Harlem public. They have made their choice, and we will see where this goes, I suppose. But yeah, the next 6 months are set to now be some of the most interesting since, I suppose, 2022, really. But I guess the job of the NI is to not repeat the same mistakes of the April 2022 election, where they got a majority, but the HPP managed to topple them within, I believe it was 4 months. So their job now is to hold a strong, steady government and ensure that it goes well, I guess. Wes, are you there? You have not said a single word.
Look, I think this result is a very clear signal that every vote counts. You know, there's a lot of people that might say, "Oh, you know, if I vote in this election, it's not going to matter." But every vote counts.
Every single one.
1 vote margin. Yeah, every single vote.
This is the
You
third
know, I think
election in
there's
a row
definitely
that a single or 2 votes have decided the election, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely well. Yeah, yes, I suppose the real question here is, how does the government go? Because, at the moment, the NI has a very broad coalition, which, I'm not really sure what their plan is, to be quite frank. When they get in government, they drop the manifesto, but it's quite vague, and for the points where it isn't vague, like the budget, it's just wrong. So I don't know where this is gonna go, but wherever it does, it is set to be really interesting. So.
One thing that we should mention is with such a broad perspective, or a broad group of coalitions, how now that we will have a NI government, is how all of the different members of the coalition will form the government.
Yes. And I do think, listen, like, depending on like who has the most influence inside of the assembled government, it's gonna really decide where they go, because they have a lot of directions that they can go right now. There are so many. Because they have such a broad tent, and that's necessarily not a good thing, but it's also not well, no, it's mostly a bad thing, because that coalition is more than likely not gonna be sustainable for the long term, because eventually at some point there's more than likely going to be a policy disagreement, and when that happens, they are going to need to figure out what to do from there.
I agree on that.
But yes. Historic results, though. Nearly 3 years of HPP rule coming to an end. Consecutive HPP rule. I believe at this point, more of Orland has been spent under the HPP and HPP than it has not, which is wild to me. But historic, really. I'm kind of lost for words, really. Like, it's,
Agreed.
yeah. But yeah, next few months are gonna be interesting. We here at WBC and Royal Eagle News and the Harlan Times slash Harlonian Press. We are all of us. We are going to keep the government accountable. We have been doing that for the past how many years, and we are going to keep doing that now that there is a new change in government. And honestly, I think we're probably going to be doing that a bit more because we're going to have more free time since we're, well, to be quite frank, most of us on the desk were in government prior to this election result. And had this election result been different, we would have been in the government. So, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, takeaway is interesting, historic, and we're gonna see where it goes because we don't really know where it's gonna go. Yeah. So
With
yeah.
now
What?
having the NI with I think one of their primarily inactive players in government, it will be interesting to see if we have a by-election soon.
Yes. Because as an example, had Sturgis not logged on today, I'm pretty sure he would have been in violation of activity requirements. Or, well, sorry, had he not logged in today and a couple of days ago during the campaign, which means they need to keep their MPs active because if not, they have a very large growing situation there. And historically, the unity part of their broad coalition has not remained as active as the rest of Parliament, which could pose to be an issue long term.
Agreed.
Generally, I think. We officially have an endorsement from former Prime Minister Kangaroo 567. Very lovely. Thank you, King. But yeah. I think we have covered most that we can at the moment. More than likely, we are probably going to cover a bit on our own individual news stuff. And yeah. Thanks for watching, I guess. Do you two have any closing words or remarks?
Thank you. Well, yes, thank you for all for watching, and let's see where this term takes us.
Yep. Thanks you guys for tuning in.
Yep. Thank you.
And thank you, Kangaroo.
Yeah, endorsement. We did need that. Our ratings it immediately skyrocketed. We went from 8 to 10. Very lovely. But yes. Have a good time, Helonians, and can't wait to see you soon.